Ladies and gentlemen, I have one word for you to consider on this beautiful day, and that is delusion. Now, what does it mean to be delusional? If I were to tell you right now, you know what, man? I think the Dallas Cowboys could win the Super Bowl in 2023. Is that delusional? Yes. It's also very, very sad. But if I said, you know what? I think the Dallas Mavericks could go on a run this postseason and surprise some people. Is that delusional? No, that is correct, and that is the right take to have. And you know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys, okay? I'm not going to sit here and try to be humble. I'm not going to try to sit here and be unbiased. That's not the name of the channel, all right? I'm just going to be straight up and say it. The Dallas Mavericks have been the best team in the National Basketball Association since the trade deadline. Full stop. They've been better than anybody else, okay? And they're not beating teams like the Detroit Pistons, God bless them, teams like the Orlando Magic, God bless them. They're beating teams that would like to consider themselves title contenders. The Boston Celtics on the road, the Brooklyn Nets on the road, the Miami Heat on the road, the Golden State Warriors on the road and at home, the Sixers, the Jazz. They've beaten all of these teams, all of these contending teams, and they've done it in a way that makes me feel happy. That makes me feel excited. And a big reason for that is Spencer Dinwiddie, man. What this guy has brought to the team, it's actually unbelievable. It's funny because when this trade went down, I think the consensus, at least among Mavs fans, was that it lowered the ceiling of the team. The trade lowered the ceiling of the team. It might have raised the floor because you just couldn't rely on KP to play consistently, but it lowered the ceiling. But with hindsight, I mean, this team has the highest ceiling of any Mavs team Luka's been on by a lot. You know, I know the idea of KP is great. The idea of Kristaps Porzingis is he's the unicorn, right? But the idea of KP never matched the reality ever. And Dinwiddie brings you another ball handler, a slasher, somebody who could play off ball, but somebody who also knows what he's doing with the ball in his hands, especially in the clutch, which has been huge for this team. Before the trade, the Mavs were one of the worst clutch teams in the entire NBA. They were 12-15 in clutch time. They had, I think their net rating at one point was like -30 in the clutch. Just terrible, laughably bad stuff. But since the trade, since bringing Dinwiddie on, the Mavs are 8-1 in clutch time, the best in the league. A lot of that has to do with Spencer Dinwiddie. He's hit 2 game winners, 2 game-winning shots. The Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets. How about this stat? This is shocking to me. Most go-ahead buckets in the last 10 seconds over the last 5 seasons. Dinwiddie is second with 6. You see Jokic is there with 6. If you were to tell me all 6 of those Jokic game winners were against the Mavs, I would believe you. It feels like every single time we play, that's how it goes down. But Dinwiddie in the clutch, man, what he brings to the table, his ability to catch and shoot, his ability to drive, get to the rim, find open teammates, draw contact. This has been so huge for the Mavs. It's just been so big for them, having 3 ball handlers on the floor. It just opens up so many things. It's a big reason why I was reading this article by The Ringer, and I'll talk more about this article later by Dan Devine. Dorian is shooting 8 of 10 from deep when Brunson, Luka, and Dinwiddie are on the floor. 8 of 10. 80%. Obviously, that number is going to go down, but you could just see how it opens up things for everybody else on the court, having 3 ball handlers. It opens up things for Luka, who I'll touch on here in a second, but another reason why Dinwiddie has helped this team out so much and why I think the ceiling of this team has raised significantly is defensively. I know, Dinwiddie's not an all NBA defense level guy, right? He's not an all defensive first team, second team type of dude, but he's 6'5". He can hold his own against multiple different positions. And that's huge because that's exactly what the Mavs are trying to do. You watch the Mavs play defense. I have people in my chat all the time. You guys should subscribe to the channel, by the way, because we stream every single Mavs games. Postseason right around the corner. We're going to stream every game from every team. Okay, but every time the Mavs play, everybody always asks, where's Boban? Where's Boban? Where the hell's Boban? Where's Boban at? Where the fuck is Boban? Boban just doesn't make sense on this team with how they play defense. He's slow. He will just get blown past on the perimeter easily. And this team really, really wants to switch. They want guys who could go out on the perimeter and hold their own. And it's why, an international superstar has really come to the forefront this season. You know who I'm talking about. Dwight Powell. I was at one point one of the biggest Dwight Powell haters probably on the entirety of the internet, which is saying a lot because Dwight Powell has had a lot of haters inside of Mavs fandom. But I cannot deny how unbelievably good Dwight Powell has been over the past few months and really this entire season, mainly defensively. How well he has played pick and rolls, how well he has held his own when switched out onto the perimeter, and that's going to be big. We've seen time and time again in the postseason these bigs that every Mavs fan always wants these big lumbering bigs who walk around and get fucking destroyed on the perimeter and don't provide too much rim protection, but they grab rebounds, so that's nice. When we see these guys get played off the court every single time in the playoffs, every single time these guys get played off the court in the playoffs because they are liabilities. Dwight Powell can legitimately hold his own on the perimeter, it has opened up so many things for this Mavericks defense. Maxi Kleber off the bench as well can hold his own on the perimeter. I know we have our issues with Maxi Kleber, but it just opens up so many things. And it makes the Mavs a difficult team to game plan against because there's not really anybody on the court that you can look at and say, all right, let's isolate him. Let's get him out on the perimeter. And we're either going to force Kid to sub him out, or we're just going to go at him all game long. The Mavs don't really have that guy currently. It's why they have one of the best defenses in the league. It's why they've matched up well against superstars. Look at how the Mavs defense has played against superstars. They've done a good job, better than most teams, I would say. I mean, they held KD to 20 points. Yeah, he did have 10 assists, but you did a good job against Kevin Durant. In the Nets game, you held Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown to probably some of their worst games in weeks when the Mavs played the Celtics, mainly due in large part because you have no liabilities. It's hard for offenses to game plan against the Mavs because honestly, Dwight Powell's been great. Maxi Kleber's been great. And of course, there is, yes, another international superstar who's also been very good for the Mavs so far this season, Josh Green. I will die on this hill that Josh Green is going to get mega minutes in the postseason for this Dallas Mavericks team, and he's going to be a huge piece. Like, he might actually be the X factor for the Mavs. If Josh Green shows up and plays good defense, we know what Josh Green can do, but also gives you something offensively in the playoffs, that might be the key for the Mavericks making a deep run. I know that sounds insane. If you don't watch the Mavericks, you might just be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But Josh Green brings so much energy to this team off the bench, and he's really the only guy the Mavs have who can consistently stick more athletic guards and stay in front of more athletic guards. And that's going to be really important, especially if the Mavs face off against the Jazz in the first round, have to go up against Donovan Mitchell. Josh Green's really the only guy the Mavericks have who can stay in front, who can make life difficult for a Donovan Mitchell going over screens and stuff like that. And to make matters better, offensively, it's always been a little bit of a question mark for Josh Green. But in the month of March, he is shooting 43% from deep on 2 attempts a game. I know that's not groundbreaking stuff. But for Josh Green, any offense he provides you is a plus. And if you can just get a consistent three-point shot or a somewhat decent three-point shot, you're feeling very good about what Josh Green brings to the table. And if he plays like this in the playoffs, it's going to be big for the Mavs. And I'm telling you guys, this is my bold prediction right now. Josh Green is going to get significant minutes in the playoffs for the Dallas Mavericks. I wouldn't even be shocked if he ends up starting a game for some weird reason, right? We've seen the Mavs do unconventional shit. They started Boban in a game 7 last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kid favors a matchup where Josh Green goes out and just plays defense for 30 minutes a game. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm very excited about what Josh Green has brought to the table. And obviously, look, there it goes. The Luka Doncic MVP train. There it goes. Yeah, Luka Doncic is the best player in the NBA. I don't really care, man. Like, I'm done trying to be humble. I'm done giving other players their props. No longer, man. I just watch Luka play. When his shot is falling, I genuinely don't think there's a more unstoppable player on the planet. I actually do believe that. There's so many different things that he could do. He's such an unbelievably talented playmaker. And Luka's best ability, in my opinion, is his ability to not only hunt mismatches, but just absolutely destroy mismatches. And this is going to come up huge in the playoffs. And we've already seen it in the series against the Clippers. He played Patrick Beverley and Zubac completely off the floor. And we saw a glimpse of that again in this Nets game. Early on in the game, Andre Drummond had 10 rebounds in the first quarter. In my chat on stream, Mavs fans were losing their shit. They're like, oh my God, Andre Drummond's going to have 50 fucking rebounds in this game. We're going to get embarrassed. I said, guys, calm down. I promise you, Luka is about to play Andre Drummond off of the court. And what happened? Luka was hunting Andre Drummond over and over and over again and was absolutely cooking him and pretty much forced Steve Nash to go with Claxton the rest of the game. And Claxton played really good too. I want to give him some credit. But Luka played Andre Drummond completely off the floor. And that's going to happen again in the playoffs. Luka is going to play these mismatches, right? These guys who maybe don't match up that well for the Mavs, maybe these bigs who can get rebounds. Luka's going to play those guys off of the court. The way Luka's playing right now, guys, I can't even really put into words how unbelievably good Luka has been lately. And since the KP trade, I want to go back to this article here from Dan Devine. Luka is averaging 24 drives to the basket. Most in the league, and he's getting 14 points on those drives. Most in the league. Both of those. Most in the league. He's getting to the paint at will. He's getting to the rim at will. A lot of that has to do with having shooters all around him, one. But two, having another ball handler like Spencer Dinwiddie makes it difficult for teams to double and send a ton of attention at you, because not only do you have a guy who can catch and shoot, but you have a guy who can attack aggressive closeouts and wild rotations and scrambling rotations. I don't know, man. I look at the West. I look at the Mavs in their current state, and I do honestly believe this team can make a run. Just look at how Luka has played. Obviously, in the playoffs, he's been great. But this season, look how Luka and the Mavs have played against other top-tier teams, against other top-tier players. Luka outplays these guys pretty much every single time they meet up. So come playoff time, you have a completely new-look offense with Spencer Dinwiddie. Jalen Brunson is playing the best he's played in his entire career so far this season. Dorian Finney-Smith is playing the best he's played his entire career so far this season. Dwight Powell is playing the best he's played in years. Josh Green has become a legitimate contributor. Reggie Bullock, he's been out for a few games. You have him. Once Tim Hardaway Jr. went down with injury, he was shooting 40+ % from three on super high volume. Plan the parade, Mark. Plan the parade.